Hello and welcome back. Let's catch up with Rails 4. In the previous lesson, we talked about concerns in the router. Today, we're going to talk about the patch verb. So let's revisit the post form, where you can create new posts as well as editing new ones. When you create a new post, you send a post request. Let's not confuse the names, okay? You have the post variable, which is an entry in a possible blog, and a post request is a request that you send that contains data that changes the current state of the application. In this case, if you want to create a new entry in the blog, you create a post request. The system changes in order to accommodate this new entry in the application. Let's go to the browser and edit an existing post. So here you see the list of all of the posts we have, or entries, to separate the terms. These are all of the entries in our blog. If you want to create a new post, we simply click on New Post, and the post form is shown to us. We can type the title, the body, and select a category for the entry. Let's quickly scan the source for this document. You see that the method for this form is post in here. We don't have any extra information on how to simulate a different HTTP method. So a post request it will be. Remember, post is for the type of request that we're sending. I know we're editing a post, but consider it as an entry. Now what happens if you want to edit an existing one? Let's click, for example, on this one and hit edit in here. The form looks exactly the same, but it has a difference. I'm going to check the source code for this page, and we have a little difference in here. You see the same form with the same method post, but you notice this strange input in here. This input contains a name and a value. The name is called underscore method, which supposedly in Rails overrides the default method to which you're submitting the request. The value is patch, which means that the request that we're going to send here is a patch request. If you recall from Rails 3, the previous value here was put and not patch. Well, the new default for Rails 4 will be patch over put. This has a reason, of course. As usual, it's the perfect opportunity to change the way things work on a much profound level, and this change is one of them. From now on, all requests that edit a certain model in your application should be submitted via the patch verb and not put. You see, in REST semantics, the patch verb is much more appropriate to fulfill the purpose that the put verb always did in Rails, which was to update a specific model in the application, but not exactly replacing it entirely. As usual, you submit in your request to update the model, and the modified at timestamp gets updated, and not the created at. The put request, semantically speaking, should always update the created at as well, meaning a new resource should be created on top of that one, completely overriding it. And that's not what happens. It never did. A new resource would never replace the previous one. Only the modified timestamp is updated, and all of the fields that you want updated are indeed updated. That's the whole purpose of replacing the put verb with the patch verb. That's all there is to it. If you want to upgrade your Rails 3 app to Rails 4 regarding this matter, you simply need to update all of your forms and replace all occurrences of put and replace them with patch. They're not very usual. They are usually only served when using the form for option. In Rails 3 you have that with put, and in Rails 4 you have the change to patch. This is only to alert you that if you have any form with method put, replace it with patch, and you should be all good. Well, that's it on the Rails 4 patch verb change. It doesn't look like much of a deal, but it helps the community strive for better standards. It just makes more sense. And since Rails is ever evolving, this is the perfect timing to comply with those standards and keep growing as a community and as a framework. I hope you have enjoyed the content today. This is the last lesson on the router, and the next chapter will cover the upgrade notes. We'll talk about the removal of the plugins feature. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.